In a world where emotions often feel like an intense roller coaster ride, finding peace within ourselves can seem nearly impossible. We've all experienced that sense of emotional turbulence, one moment feeling calm, and the next moment being overcome by anxiety or anger. But imagine a life where we can ride these waves without being controlled by them. What if there was a way to face life's challenges with a steady heart and a clear mind? Today, we're going to explore this possibility through the timeless wisdom of Buddhist teachings, which offer practical steps anyone can follow to gain emotional mastery. Let's dive into how Buddhist philosophy, without requiring us to become Buddhists, can guide us toward achieving a peaceful mind and resilient heart. So if you're ready to embark on a journey toward greater emotional strength, balance, and self-control, stay with us. Understanding the nature of emotions, a new perspective. To truly master our emotions, we need to understand them first. Buddhist teachings offer a simple yet powerful insight. Emotions are transient. In Buddhism, the concept of impermanence, or anicca, teaches us that all things, including our emotions, are constantly changing. Just as clouds pass in the sky, emotions rise and fall. They aren't permanent, even though they sometimes feel like they'll last forever. Imagine a day when you receive disappointing news at work. You might initially feel anger or sadness, but when you remind yourself that these feelings, like all things, are temporary, they become easier to bear. In practicing this mindfulness of impermanence, we start to experience a form of liberation. Instead of being dragged down by our emotions, we can acknowledge them, let them exist, and ultimately, watch them pass. Practicing mindfulness to gain control. One of the most transformative tools Buddhism offers for emotional control is mindfulness. Mindfulness is the practice of being fully present in each moment, observing our thoughts and feelings without judgment. It's like standing by the riverbank and watching your thoughts flow by, rather than being swept away by the current. To start applying mindfulness, try this exercise the next time you feel overwhelmed. Take a few deep breaths and tune into what's happening inside your body, the tension in your shoulders, the tightness in your chest. Instead of reacting, observe. By pausing to notice these sensations, you create space between yourself and the emotion, which helps you respond thoughtfully rather than impulsively. Story. Example: imagine two people stuck in traffic. The first person is visibly frustrated, banging on the steering wheel, getting increasingly upset. The second person practices mindfulness. They notice their frustration, but choose to breathe, accept the situation, and let it pass. This second person arrives at their destination much calmer and more composed. This example may seem simple, but it illustrates how powerful mindfulness can be. Releasing attachment. The key to inner freedom. In Buddhist teachings, attachment is often seen as a root cause of suffering. We become attached to outcomes, people, material possessions, and even ideas of how life should be. But, as life constantly changes, clinging to these attachments leads to disappointment and dissatisfaction. The practice of non-attachment doesn't mean giving up on our desires or disconnecting from the world. Instead, it means cultivating a mindset that allows us to engage fully in life without becoming overly dependent on specific outcomes. When we're less attached, we're less likely to be crushed by life's inevitable changes. Personal insight. Example: I once met someone who was deeply attached to their career as a measure of their worth. When they were laid off, their world felt like it collapsed. But over time, through practices like mindfulness and self-compassion, they discovered a new way to see themselves beyond their job title. They let go of that attachment and found freedom in redefining their self-worth. This shift helped them not only recover, but also thrive in other areas of life they'd previously overlooked. Cultivating compassion for emotional resilience. Compassion, particularly self-compassion, is crucial on the journey to mastering our emotions. Buddhism teaches that compassion is more than a virtue. It's a powerful practice that strengthens emotional resilience. When we experience suffering or setbacks, approaching ourselves with kindness instead of harsh self-criticism makes a tremendous difference. Practicing loving-kindness meditation, where we silently wish ourselves and others well, can foster a sense of connection that transcends individual challenges. This sense of belonging can be incredibly comforting when facing difficulties. Example. Story. Imagine going through a rough day and feeling inadequate or frustrated. Instead of beating yourself up, you try a compassionate approach, reminding yourself that everyone faces struggles. This mindset softens the blow, allowing you to learn from the experience rather than sink into a cycle of negativity. Embracing impermanence as a source of freedom. The Buddhist concept of impermanence doesn't only apply to emotions. It's a reminder that everything in life is constantly changing. Relationships, careers, and even our health go through cycles. By embracing this truth, we can let go of the need to control everything, and instead, learn to flow with life. Embracing impermanence can be challenging, but it also brings a sense of freedom. When we accept that change is the only constant, we're less likely to resist life's transitions and more likely to cherish each moment as it comes. Personal reflection. Consider a relationship that ended unexpectedly. At first, it might feel like the pain will never subside, but over time, as the Buddhist teaching on impermanence suggests, that heartache lessens. Looking back, you may even find gratitude for the experience, seeing how it helped shape who you are today. Building a supportive community. In Buddhism, the concept of Sangha, or spiritual community, holds high importance. Having a support network provides encouragement, accountability, and companionship along the path of emotional mastery. When we're surrounded by others who share similar values, it's easier to stay committed to our practice and grow. Example of community impact. Think of a fitness class. Being surrounded by others pushing through the same workout often makes the experience more manageable and enjoyable. Similarly, a supportive community on the path to emotional mastery can help each of us face our challenges with resilience and compassion. Mastering emotions isn't about eliminating them. It's about learning to navigate them with wisdom and compassion. By integrating mindfulness, non-attachment, compassion, and an understanding of impermanence, we can build a foundation of emotional resilience. Let us remember that this journey doesn't happen overnight. It's a practice, one that requires patience and persistence. But as we take these steps, we're not only transforming our own lives, we're contributing to a more compassionate, resilient world. As you continue on your path, remember the power of each mindful breath, each moment of compassion, and each connection within your community. Together, we can foster a world where inner peace and emotional mastery are within reach for all.